Eric Schenkman on the guitar. Come on now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Guitar Wishes, your guitar wish of the day. Today we're out of the facility in Lincolnton, and we are down at the Charles Mack Center in Mooresville, North Carolina. I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to sit down with guitar player extraordinaire. That's right, Mr. Eric Schenkman from the Spin Doctors, down here doing a show, and I just listened to some sound check, man. The new stuff. Like an aggressive but fun blues rock bass.
Yeah.
Tell me about the new stuff, man.
The new stuff's great, man, and I don't say that easily because we did a bunch of records I didn't say that about, but it's just really fresh, and we took the better part of last year, kind of piecing together some writing, and it just happened in the right way. It happened in a really good way, and then we went down to our bass player Jack Daly's studio, and we recorded this stuff there, and it sounded really good. And then we rough mixed it, and it's roughed, and we're out playing it. We play the old stuff too.
Yeah, the old stuff
and the new stuff.
It's got to be more fun and refreshing to throw some new stuff in there, and to get the kind of reaction. I understand you're getting a really good reaction to the new stuff on stage.
Yeah, people are dancing to it and smiling, and that is what I love about this band. It's those two elements, dancing and smiling. We've always been kind of like this group that has a sort of a vaguely political name that has absolutely nothing to do with politics. That's really who we are. So this new stuff really kind of hits that shit right on the head, I think. Great lyrics too, I've got to say.
Well, yeah, Chris is doing a great job, and we were talking before we started. Great group of people. The band is all back together. New bass player Jack Daly. Tell me quickly how you found Jack.
We just said his name at the same time is what happened, which is often a good way to go. Yeah. So we needed a guy, and so I said Jack, and Aaron said Jack, and actually Mark said Jack too at the same time.
Really?
Yeah, because he wanted us to get a sub at the time.
Right.
And so and then Jack was free. So, I mean, that's what do you call that? Synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, no better bass player than Jack Daly. This guy, Lenny Kravitz. I mean, the stuff.
All sorts of stuff. He's got a huge resume.
Man, it's amazing. It really is. Yeah. Did that fresh blood, did that kind of help with the writing process? Did y'all all write together? Or?
Nah, Jack didn't write any of this stuff. But when we recorded it, it helped with the recording process, certainly, because his recording style is learn quick, close to when the red light's on.
Sure.
And you kind of need that a little bit of juice, like wild card in the recording, so it makes it all
right.
All the stuff's very exciting and alive.
Now, are you writing everything, or is Chris jumping in?
No, the three of us write. The three
really?
of us all write. Aaron and Chris and myself. So in one way or another, it's a combination of the three of us.
Yeah. Cool. And now I was looking at some of the videos online. You did some really cool stuff during quarantine. There's the videos on there.
Yeah, we did the quarantine videos.
The quarantine videos, man.
Which actually they got a lot of love actually online.
Yeah, they were really good. They sound great.
Yeah, and that was kind of like, I don't know how that even started, but we did the two hits first. Mm-hmm. So we did, and we didn't even say that Two Princes was part of that first video. It's on the back end of Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. We put that out, and then it just started. It's really funny to me. What I noticed was those two songs were hits in the 90s, and we didn't really announce that we recorded them so much. We put them on YouTube, and it's really true to form. They got the two of those. That one video's got on my YouTube anyways, it's got over 800, it's close to 800,000. And the other quarantine videos, they're back from that. They all have respectable numbers, but it's just funny to me. It's like that song, it really does say something about popular music.
There's something about those two songs, maybe especially Two Princes. The stars just lined up on those things. It's so funny. I'll never forget, I was at the show, you guys and Screaming Trees and Soul Asylum.
Yeah, it was a good tour.
Great tour. And I'll never forget, people were having a great time dancing around, but when those two hits started, the place just blows up.
Yeah, it was it still happens. Two Princes is still last in the set. I think we still want to write a song that could put it first in the set. But that's just our own private ambitions. But yeah, man, God bless Two Princes and Little Miss. And if it wasn't for, just in case you don't know it, I guess 90, maybe 92, thereabouts, we were just lucky because we had tried to put Two Princes out on this. We'd made a sort of a shaky video for it, and it didn't really fly. And then we spent all our tour support money, which when you're young, you think the record company gives you. And so then we're in debt and we didn't have anything going on, you know, and it was just fortunate because the Little Miss became a hit because of radio, because of a DJ actually, and it started knocking over its competition and you know that thing where you phone in and vote for the song.
Right.
So that's the reason why Little Miss Can't Be Wrong caught on, because that guy phoned a record company. So if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't have been able to put out Two Princes later than that.
Right.
And you know, we all knew that Two Princes was going to be a big song if it ever was able to come out like that.
Sure.
Because you could tell when you play a song like that in a club.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you're saying about the songs in the sound check too. There's a couple of tunes that are the new tunes that really feel a lot like that.
Yeah.
You really want to play it, and you really think it's going to be fun. Then it is fun, and then you look out and everybody's feeling the same way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the earmark of the early days of our band. Was our signature back then, and so it really is nice to come around, you know, 165 years later and have a similar feeling, you know.
But there was some great stuff later on, man. The second album I thought was really, really good.
It's got a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good guitar stuff on there, and there's a lot. It's a good record, but I can hear it trying. You know, I can just I mean, most of the songs on the second record, which is called Turn It Upside Down, most of those songs were already written when we were on the road with Kryptonite. There wasn't a lot of new stuff, a thing or two. I can't think of which ones. But another thing about the record business of the old days, it's probably the same now. And the record company called for that record too soon.
Really?
Yeah, like we could have still worked Kryptonite for another year easy, and we were fucked up. We were just like too much success too fast, and it kind of makes your head spin. And so we weren't really ready to cut that record when we cut it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good stuff on it, but it doesn't have the freedom that the first record has. The first record just feels free, and I have to say this new one's, I think it feels the same way. So.
Well, you know, as I said, I was sitting in sound check, I was tapping my foot. By the end of the first time ever hearing these songs, I was singing the chorus with it.
See, there you
And
go.
that's magic.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, you know, I want to go back to the second record for a second. There was a song, "How Could You Want Him?" You know, could have me.
Yeah, it's on the first record, man. Well, it's the second record, really. If you're calling it the first studio record.
First, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
So I was referring to the third record then, when I said Turn It Upside Down.
Yeah.
Second record's Kryptonite. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, second was Kryptonite.
All right.
But that song was a departure for you guys.
Yeah.
And what prompted that? Because it really took a left turn, I thought. And when I was listening to it for the first time, I remember this is different.
Yeah, it's like we have a bunch of ballads that are like really cool ballads and whatnot, and that song is a great example of like little parts that Aaron comes up with on the guitar, and then I then can play with and like sort of embellish and bear. So over the years, those ballads have gotten better and better. We're doing that tonight. We still do that song every night. Yeah. And so I think the thing about us that's sort of magic is, well, for you, this is a guitar interview. So from the perspective of the guitar, certainly, you know, you play different things different ways. Like if I write something, I get headstrong with it, and I know how it's going to go, and I know how it's supposed to be. You know, well, if I'm like collaborating with somebody and they're giving me, you know, bits of guitar and things like that, then I take a completely different approach. And, you know, you can kind of step outside of yourself a little bit more. And I think one thing that we have in this group is the ability to do that. The three of us particularly, like we can kind of like step out of our roles and, you know, sort of like we can sort of shift around a little bit. And that gives us, I don't know how to put it, it gives us more, you know, more dimension. As a unit, because let's face it, you know, three people, that's a very small amount of people.
It is, but when everybody's as talented, like you've got a great voice. I mean, people, I don't know if you realize out there in YouTube land, you know, you've got a great voice too, so I'm sure that lends its hand in there as well.
that's what I'm talking about, right? And Chris can play great acoustic guitar, and it's like, so I mean, it just depends on what's happening in the room, you know, who's got what, who's doing what.
Sure.
And as the years go by, you know, you really learn to, you know, appreciate and work with your you know, your people more and more. So
Well, and the album coming up is the first one since What If the River Was Whiskey?
yeah, it's the first one since then, which was quite a while ago now.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a long time ago when I think.
And that was a great record too.
It was a very different record.
It was very different,
A
but it
good
was
record. It's for your, if FYI, it's like everything's a first take on that record. There's not an overdub on it. It's just our collection of blues songs that are original blues songs that we've been doing for years, basically. And yeah, I'm really glad we did that record. We did a whole tour behind that record. We went to Europe behind that record, and you know, it was just our time to go. Yeah, we used to be a blues band too. And here you go. Especially for guitar, you get to a point with guitar where like you really feel like if you can't play the blues or jazz or country or all, then you better go back and learn one of those three. And,
Sure.
You know, because it's a guitar. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a good record for me, needless to say.
Yeah. Well, when you look back at the tours you've had before this one, do you have some highlights, some moments that stick out? It's like, man, this is one of the coolest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Very first thing that pops into my mind is playing with Roger Daltrey. You know, I mean, that's just like a huge moment for anybody, particularly for me. And then so we did a concert with him at Carnegie Hall. We did a couple songs, part of his 50th birthday thing. He came out and sang with us, which meant that we got to that. No, that was after the rehearsal. I think he says, "Would you guys want to do Letterman because we want to promo the gig?" So we said, "Sure." And so then, like the next day or the day after that, because it was all pretty tight in the same week. So then we end up doing Letterman. So that's, if you want to see the Spin Doctors with Roger Daltrey, just it's on my IG, but it's probably on the internet. You just look it up. Letterman Substitute we did. And so another interesting guitar fact actually is, I was just talking to Jack about this yesterday because he had talked to Artie Smith. Artie Smith is this crazy character from New York who used to be and probably still is, Steve Jordan's drum tech. He worked with teching for the Expensive Winos. And when we were cutting Kryptonite, he was in and out of the power station, and I ended up renting. He has a great collection of guitars. He's one of those guys that took everybody's old guitar before they knew it was worth anything, and then start renting it out, you know.
Sure.
I won't go into how I feel about those people. I love Artie, though. And so anyways, he has this beautiful 59 Burst, right?
Sure.
Which is probably worth as much as your house. And I rented it from him for that session, and that's the Two Princes guitar. So it's a real nice 59 Sunburst that I didn't have to pay for, which is really nice as well, because you know, I probably would have broken it by now. And then that's, if you want to know that guitar though, that's the same guitar on that Daltrey thing.
Really?
So that's the 59 Burst that's on Two Princes, the one that I'm playing on. So that's my biggest guitar memory, is like, you know, when we got to play with Daltrey on Letterman, because it was even that guitar.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
just so many memories wrapped up.
Yeah, and there's lots and lots of stuff. You know, the time Mick Fleetwood sat in Hawaii and broke the bass drum pedal. There's like, you know, I mean,
there's the Woodstock moments too.
Yeah, there's lots of Woodstock moments. You know, that's damn for sure. And then there's I mean, there's just a lot of stuff but that moment really rises to the top. The Daltrey moment really for me is like, you know,
incredible.
Like, oh wait, is this really happening? You know, you know. So I think you only need one of those in life.
Yeah. How do you think your tone's changed over the years? I see you're playing a couple of SGs in there.
Yeah. I know this record that we just did, I tracked on a Stratocaster, and I play the Gibsons live. I really think they work better live for a trio, you know? They get the Strat gets really thin, and it's hard not to be like, go right down the Hendrix, you know, rabbit hole, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I think we all guitar players owe a huge psychic debt to Jimi Hendrix, and I don't mind paying that whenever possible. But the Gibsons really, you know, they're fatter, and you can still split them so that they can sound thin. Right. So I just use those, and plus the fact that I'm a creature of convenience, and I went to Gibson in 2005 when we cut the record called Nice Talking to Me, which is also a good record.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And they were still giving guitars away then. You know, we were still popular enough or whatever it was. So they gave me the SG Standard and a Flying V. And the V I ended up selling to a friend of mine. I got a very nice V, the Grace Potter Flying V, which I have. It's my Flying V at home, and I love it. but I don't really use it with the Spins. I tend to use different guitars with different projects.
Right.
So the SG is like our road guitar. It just become that. It was my first good electric guitar anyways, was an SG.
Right.
And yeah, and I got a couple of basements sitting up there behind me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds incredible. Really, really
It's a
does.
good sound, yeah.
It really sounds good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I was talking to them during sound check. Man, and I hate to sound cliche, but it sounds just like, the CD, just like the radio. I mean, it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah. Well, we recorded the stuff together, and a lot of the stuff that we recorded was recorded the same with this last record. A lot of the basic tracks are live, everybody live. So it's pretty easy to recreate live if you recorded it live.
Yeah,
that's true. And so I would just say that.
Let me ask you this: if 2022 Eric could go back and talk for 5 seconds to Eric from 1991, what would you tell him?
Oh, I thought you were going to say, what would you ask him? What would I tell him? I would say, don't sweat the little shit, man, because it's really not that important. And just be happy that you still have 10 fingers and you can play music. Because as time's gone on, I've realized that, I have this little thing I like to tell people, like, if I was a realtor, I'd probably be a multi-billionaire, but I'm a guitar player. So I can just play the guitar. I think you need to really just dig what you chose and be happy with the fact that you can do something that you have a passion for, and that you're not like constantly wanting to do something else or wanting to make a change or this and that. So I would just say stick with it, which is probably what I would have told myself now if I was back then. I'm kind of like, I'm pretty contiguous like that.
I'll tell you, I was watching you guys.
Dude, I used to draw little pictures of piggyback amplifiers when I was like 3 years old.
Really?
So
That's awesome. Awesome. You mentioned that and having fun playing. I've seen so many guys do sound checks where they're in, they play, and they're out. And it's like they're having no fun. Right. I was watching you guys, and somebody would get out of song like, let's do it. And you're going straight into it. It's like you're still having a blast.
Yeah, we have a good time. Well, we did. We have a good time. It's one thing about this group. It's a great thing about this group is that, that's when we're on, that's what we're doing. And it's contagious.
Yeah, and usually I ask people what they see in the future, but man, it's just obvious. You're going to put the album out, you're going to put the songs out, and you're touring behind it. You're having a great time with the Spin Doctors.
There you go. You answered my own question. I should be interviewing you. Yeah, it's good. Well, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, and I guess at some point, what we really want to do with the video is we're going to do this video and have quite a few Facebook Lives. We really want to push the new stuff when it comes out.
Great.
We want people to hear it as much as possible. This stuff I heard in there, it should be massive. Yeah,
well, I mean, it certainly is something that you can tell somebody to listen to, and they won't be disappointed they did.
Absolutely not.
Even when I play there's 12 tracks on the record, and I still can't play it for somebody without. It's just exciting. It's like I want to play we end up listening to all 12, which is rare.
Rare.
In my world. Usually it's just like here, okay, let's go get a coffee. So it's nice to have something that you feel good about.
And one question I want to ask you, and I'm sorry we're going to go back to something, but the Little Miss video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did.
How much of a mess was that? I mean,
it was a mess. I thought you were going to ask me if the paint can hit me in the back, because it did. I had a bruise for weeks. It was great, man. We had a great time doing that video. It was the first video that we really made with money from a record company. Back then, kids, there was record companies, and they loaned you money and told you they were giving it to you. And we had a great time. It was great. It was a big budget video. We found the girl, and we decided to jump on a trampoline and like film that, and then throw paint at each other, and then like throw paint cans at each other. I mean, we're like in our 20s. It was like
everybody I showed that video to. We got an 8-year-old daughter, and I was showing it to her. She's like, "Man, it looks like they're having a blast."
Yeah. That's right. That's the same story. Yeah. The story repeats.
Awesome, Eric. Thank you so much, brother.
Hey, man. Thank you.
So, and everybody, Eric Schenkman from the Spin Doctors. We're going to throw some links to different things down below, and hopefully a few clips of the show tonight, if you don't care.
No, we're good with that. You can take a few clips. Yeah.
All right.
I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you.
All right. And, hey, do you mind? Can we get a shot of your cabs and everything on stage? Would that be all right?
Well, I think you just want to grab something to eat.
Okay. Can you give us just like 15 minutes? Okay. Awesome. want to shoot.
Oh, just a quick shot of your calves, maybe, and what you're playing through.
There you go.
Things of that.
Shoot that.
Basement heads. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a 66 and 64.
It's really.
Yeah. There's a mod on the 66 is a mod you can do that kind of brings it back to the 64.
Right.
Because it doesn't make a presence now.
What's that it's sitting on?
That is an old red Marshall cabinet, and it's got, I'm running creambacks with the, I'm still kind of experimenting with the black basement to see what works for it.
Right.
So creambacks, and then there's two 70s from the 90s that are in the bottom there.
Right.
And I have it like, if I need it, I have here, just kind of been messing around with it. So I've got like, I can actually plug in the two bottom ones if I want right there. So I could run this one into there and this one into here, but I just use one. I use one or you know, one or the other.
Awesome.
And then also, here you go. Here's the guitars. Right. The two of them, they're almost exactly the same. I broke them into, they're just, you know, this is an 05 and this is a 10.
Wow. Incredible.
And I use pickups by Thomas Nielsen, Cream Tea pickups.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what these are. And you know,
Is that a kill switch there?
no, that's not. That's just a split, like a series and together. And then this one is right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the only sort of special thing there is on it. You can split them or not split them.
Right.
And I've been kind of messing with pots recently too, trying to find out what it, you know.
Constantly on the search.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what guitar players do.
All right.
Thank you so
Is
much.
you good? Is it good?
Awesome.
Okay.
Get some food, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
bro.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
And for everybody here, I'm Lee, and we're out.
Ain't nobody good about now when that sound you got. A little bit came around. What you gonna do? You can't do another one with these guys. If you keep it wrong, you can't be wrong. Oh, you can't be wrong. Oh, you can't be wrong.
Cruising for a bruising.